The Dallas Cowboys, a team once synonymous with victory, glory, and excellence. From the iconic star on their helmets to the roar of the crowd in Texas Stadium, the Cowboys were more than just a football team. They were a dynasty. A dynasty that redefined what it meant to be champions in the NFL. But beneath the shining armor of success, cracks were beginning to form. How did this powerhouse rise to greatness? And more intriguingly, what caused their fall from the top? In the next few minutes, we'll journey through the dramatic saga of the Dallas Cowboys, a team that captured the hearts of millions and became known as America's team. We'll delve into the early years of struggle, the visionaries who transformed the Cowboys into champions, and the legendary games that etched their names in history. But as we uncover the glory, we'll also confront the challenges, the internal conflicts, and the decisions that led to their eventual decline. This is the story of triumph, adversity, and the inevitable fall of one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. This is the rise and fall of the Dallas Cowboys dynasty. The Dallas Cowboys were born out of ambition and vision in 1960, when Clint Murchison Jr. and Bedford Wynn were awarded the NFL's first ever expansion team. But greatness doesn't happen overnight. The team struggled in its early years, recording a dismal 0-11-1 record in its first season. The franchise needed more than just time. It needed leadership. Enter Tom Landry, a man who would become synonymous with the Cowboys' success. Known for his stoic demeanor and innovative mind, Landry took on the challenge of transforming a fledgling team into a powerhouse. But Landry wasn't alone in this mission. Tex Schramm, the general manager, and Gil Brandt, the director of player personnel, were the architects behind the Cowboys' rise. Schramm was a visionary who understood the importance of marketing and branding, coining the term America's team. Brandt revolutionized scouting, finding talent in unlikely places, including small colleges and even other sports. Together, this trio laid the foundation for what would become a dynasty. The turning point came in 1966 when the Cowboys finished with a winning record for the first time and reached the playoffs. Though they didn't win the championship that year, the foundation was set. The Cowboys were on the verge of greatness, and the NFL was about to witness the rise of a team that would dominate the league for the next 2 decades. The 1970s marked the era when the Dallas Cowboys ascended to the pinnacle of the NFL. Under Tom Landry's leadership, the team not only became perennial contenders, but also captured their first Super Bowl title in 1972 with a victory over the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl VI. This wasn't just a win. It was the coronation of a new football dynasty. The Cowboys' success was built on a blend of innovative strategy and star power. Landry's flex defense and his adoption of the shotgun formation were just a few examples of how the team stayed ahead of the curve. But it wasn't just the schemes that made the Cowboys dominant, it was the players. Roger Staubach, the charismatic quarterback known as Captain America, became the face of the franchise. His leadership on the field and ability to perform under pressure turned him into a legend. Alongside him were stars like Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson, and Bob Lilly, each contributing to the team's success. But it wasn't just on the field where the Cowboys excelled. Off the field, the Cowboys' image was carefully crafted by Tex Schramm, who turned the team into a national brand. The Cowboys cheerleaders, with their iconic uniforms, became a cultural phenomenon, and the team's games became must-see events. The Cowboys were more than just a football team. They were a symbol of excellence, and their star logo became one of the most recognizable symbols in sports. Throughout the 1970s, the Cowboys were a fixture in the playoffs, reaching 5 Super Bowls and winning 2. They were dubbed America's Team, a title that stuck due to their widespread popularity and success. But as the 1980s approached, even as the Cowboys remained competitive, cracks began to appear in the dynasty they had built. The challenges that lay ahead would test the very fabric of what had made the Cowboys great. As the 1980s dawned, the Dallas Cowboys were still a force to be reckoned with, but the signs of decline were starting to show. Age was catching up with the key players, and the once innovative strategies began to lose their edge. The 1981 NFC Championship game, remembered as The Catch, where the San Francisco 49ers' Dwight Clark made a leaping grab to secure a victory, marked the beginning of the end for the Cowboys' dominance. It was a moment that symbolized the shift in power within the NFC. The departure of key figures further hastened the decline. Roger Staubach, the heart and soul of the team, retired in 1980, leaving a void that was never truly filled. The team struggled to find a consistent quarterback, and without their star, the Cowboys began to falter. Tom Landry, the architect of the Cowboys' success, faced increasing criticism for his rigid coaching style and outdated strategies. The NFL was evolving, but the Cowboys seemed stuck in the past. Internal conflicts and ownership changes also played a role. In 1984, Clint Murchison Jr. sold the team to Bum Bright, a move that brought instability to a franchise that had been a model of consistency. The once unshakable Cowboys were now plagued by uncertainty both on and off the field. The cracks in the armor were growing, and the team that had once been the pride of the NFL was slowly unraveling. By the late 1980s, the Dallas Cowboys were a shadow of their former selves. The final blow came in 1989, when the team was sold to Jerry Jones, a brash Arkansas oilman with big plans. Jones's first move was to fire Tom Landry, a decision that sent shockwaves through the football world. Landry had been the only coach the Cowboys had ever known, and his dismissal marked the end of an era. Jones brought in Jimmy Johnson, a college coach with a reputation for winning, to rebuild the team. But the transition was anything but smooth. The Cowboys finished the 1989 season with a 1-15 record, the worst in franchise history. It was a painful period for Cowboys fans who had grown accustomed to success. The team was in shambles, and the dynasty that had dominated the NFL for nearly 2 decades was officially over. However, the seeds of a new era were being planted. Under Johnson, the Cowboys began to rebuild through the draft, acquiring future stars like Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. But that's another story. The rise of the new Cowboys dynasty in the 1990s would not have been possible without the lessons learned from the decline of the original. The fall of the first dynasty serves as a reminder that even the greatest teams are not immune to the forces of time, change, and the inevitable challenges that come with sustained success. The Dallas Cowboys dynasty of the 1970s and early 1980s remains one of the most iconic periods in NFL history. The team's success on the field, combined with their branding off it, made them a cultural phenomenon. They set the standard for what it means to be a successful sports franchise, both in terms of winning and in terms of building a lasting legacy. But the story of the Cowboys is also a cautionary tale about the challenges of maintaining success. The rise and fall of the Cowboys dynasty teach us that in sports, as in life, nothing lasts forever. Teams can rise to the top, but staying there requires constant innovation, strong leadership, and a little bit of luck. The Cowboys of the 1970s will always be remembered as one of the greatest teams in NFL history. But their fall reminds us that even the most successful dynasties can crumble. As we look back on the legacy of the Dallas Cowboys, we see a team that captured the imagination of a nation and left an indelible mark on the sport of football. Their story is one of triumph, adversity, and the enduring pursuit of greatness. If you're as passionate about sports as we are, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up for more gripping documentaries that take you on a journey through the most unforgettable moments in NFL history.